commandment of peacekeeping. Just be quiet. Let breathing become smooth and natural, nowhere in a hurry, because now it will be about what stands on the top of the top, those who call peacekeepers, and the words sound as rare jewels. Blessed peacekeepers, and if you listen, you hear what it says, not just about those who love peace and silence, not about those who avoid conflict from fear or convenience, but about those who actively create the world, which are active in space, where there is already where the gap has begun, and brings reconciliation there. And this is one of the most difficult and highest calls, because the world around us seems to be held on separation, on opposition, on to be for someone and against someone. And the world theoretic comes and says that it is possible to choose the side and choose the connection. And the meaning of this word is revealed in action. The world theoretic is the one who tries to reconcile people who sees as two or more diverges in different sides, and finds the bridge between they who do not burn conflicts, but on the contrary, when around the passion is overflowed, he does not throw wood. He is looking for what the flames can be poured, and it is not naivete. It is a huge internal work, because in conflict always so easy to stand on someone's side, so easy to give emotions, so easy to say, you are right and it is not, and this is the way to deepen the gap. And now, while you breathe and listen, to think of those situations that you are, and how often you become as a person who either ignites or has it. And the way to perform peacemaking begins with very simple, almost imperceptible things, so as not to spread gossip, because gossip is a seed of conflict. It is when you pass the words that are said behind you, when you add your, and here she said, and the conflict gets new food, and peacekeeper is the one who breaks this chain, who does not pass on, if and says, only says, and not harm, and then not to support quarrels. And that means that when around already boiling, when the parties call you to take someone's position, you don't give up to it. You don't become a lawyer. You remain those looking for how people to return to each other and seek compromise. This is an art that requires you not to be stiff, but flexibility, the ability to see that each side is something right, that everyone has its own. And now, in the silence of this moment, try to imagine yourself in a situation where two people important for you cannot come to agreement, and feel the desire to rise inside you to someone's side. And just hold this desire without following him. And look, if you have space to not choose to stay with both sides at the same time, and this is the beginning of peacemaking. But on this way, there is a difficulty, and they need to know, because otherwise, and the main difficulty, sometimes it is the main difficulty of being accused. They say he's no ridge, that he's a traitor, that he can't decide, because in the world where they are used to share on their and others, the one who does not choose the side becomes alien to everyone, and it hurts when you try to reconcile, and you are rejected when you want peace, and you are accused of cowardice, or that you are not in your business, and then there is a desire to justify yourself, prove that you are not such a peace. And there is the second challenge of peace. Keep calm when you don't understand, not to fall into the same struggle you're trying to stop, and act without pride, that perhaps the hardest thing is because pride whispers, they do not appreciate your efforts. Let them understand themselves, or You better than them. You are above this slope, and if you give up this pride, you cease to be a peacemaker and become just another party to split. And the real peacemaker show how bold he is. And just because the fire needs to extinguish and he does not wait for gratitude, he does what he needs to be done. Because the world is not just a lack of war. The world is a state in which people can see each other, not enemies, but brothers. And now when you hear these words, try to feel if you have this calling, this ability to enter into the gap and not to cut it even stronger. And it was a peacekeeper, let in small, let in one short phrase, which stopped the quarrel. Let in that you not past gossip. Let in that you have mercy on children on the playground. And this all. The same work, the same blissful, difficult, beautiful work. And let yourself feel that peacemaking does not require you special powers or status. It begins with you, with how you behave in conflict, which concerns you, reconciliation, with whether you can see that your opponent is also a person, too wants to be heard, and when you take this step, you are already becoming what bliss says, and this bliss is not that you are praised, and that through you the world enters where it is not, and you become a guide of so.